In Consumer Corner, we take a look at trends spreading a buzz online in China. On today's show, we'll discuss how housing prices lead to fake divorces. A survey by Tsinghua University and Lifestyle magazine showed that a total of 2.78 million marriages ended in divorce in 2012. For the seventh consecutive year, Chinese divorce rates rose. On an international scale, China still has a relatively low divorce rate. It's ranking 57th in divorces worldwide. But after this year, the divorce rate may climb up in the rankings. The trend is extreme in Nanjing. There are more than 18,000 couples that filed for divorce in the first half of this year. That number is for half the year and is already 80% of last year's total numbers. The numbers of divorce applications have led to longer lines at bureau offices. One Nanjing office decided to set a daily limit on the number of applicants. The office had to retract this rule because of public pressure. Many believe that the rule was ideological. Practically speaking, the line was shortened to better handle the long lines of applicants. The possible ideological reason would be to slow the number of divorces. The Nanjing Bureau of Civil Affairs has already issued nearly 85,000 pieces of single status certificates during the past 6 months. The total number of certificates for all of last year was 100,000. The average age for divorce in Nanjing in the past 6 months was around 39 years old. This is considered a high average for divorce. The couples living in downtown Nanjing at that age normally have stable incomes. They have likely saved enough money to buy more than one home. The reasoning behind the divorce rate is likely related to two specific policies. The divorce rate saw two large spikes from January to June. Both of these spikes came the same time as housing policies were issued. The first policy was unveiled by China State Council. It was designed to cool down the country's housing market. One of the new rules put a compulsory 20% income tax on home sales. It levied a 60% tax on couples who purchased second houses. However, the new policy offered a loophole. Divorced couples could avoid the new taxes. Consequently, nearly 300 couples filed for divorce in Nanjing the day after the policy. The number is more than double the usual number. The second spike was also policy-related. A school enrollment policy accidentally gave couples an incentive to divorce. This happened in early June. School zoning programs determine where a student will go to school. The zoning system gives preference to those who live nearby a school. The new policy says that the parent and the child have to live in a house for a minimum amount of time for zoning privileges. Parents who want their children to enroll in a certain school immediately reacted to the policy. Many of them divorced in order to purchase a second house near the school district. Following the divorce, many changed their children's household registration. This zones the child for the nearby school. The fake divorce has now become an open secret at the marriage registrar. The divorcing trend has also led to another trend. As many of the divorces were just on paper, many couples actually chose to remarry. The separation didn't always end up as planned, though. Some families have turned their fake divorces into real ones. This adds to the complexity of the housing changes. Sometimes the second house isn't as nice as the first. Challenging the property divide in court can't be legally justified due to a fraudulent divorce. Many offices are putting up signs to remind people that they are risking property with a divorce. However, the signs haven't slowed the divorce rate. Many are still getting into complex property disputes. Some net users criticize the divorced couples. One wrote, quote, "I feel surprised by the ridiculous policy. I'm more surprised by the behavior of these divorced couples. If marriage can be used for material benefits, many people will take it that way. Where is the real meaning of marriage? They must rethink about words like happiness and family." Conversely, more net users showed understanding of the situation. One wrote, quote, "I don't think it's so evil for these couples to divorce. This kind of strange incident is because of ridiculous policies. These couples are divorcing to get more benefits for their families." Another net user rationally commented on the policy, quote, "The real intention of these policies is to cool the real estate market down and make people's lives better. However, if the policies result in large numbers exploiting the loophole, then the policy isn't strict enough. On the other hand, it's a failed policy that makes lives worse." In regard to the limitation on the daily divorce amount in Nanjing, one commenter playfully wrote, quote, "When we were students, we got a seat at the school by lottery. When we reached society, we were limited in buying houses. Now there are limitations on divorce. Are we going to be limited on getting married? Maybe we will eventually buy some scalp tickets to get inside the registration center. Then we will get married to a government-assigned person." Ancient Chinese marriages were often arranged and assumed to be loveless. They were made for financial and political benefits. The first law of the PRC was the law of marriage. The law abolished arranged marriages and gave people the freedom to marry and divorce. The limitation on divorces in Nanjing created fears that it could be at risk. It's possible that the intent of the limitation was purely practical. If people continue taking advantage of the law of marriage, then some future restrictions might become problems.